Rini, when we talk of relationships, especially in current times, there are so many types and there are so many contexts in which people get together or in which people are existing together. And the lines between each of them is almost blurred, not just for an onlooker, but at times for the people who are in the relationship. And yeah, would you like to start off with probably reflecting upon what different kinds of relationship do exist in modern times?
Sure. I think if you had asked me this question like a decade or so ago, my response would have been very different. Just like, oh, this is committed and non-committed relationship. What else you want me to talk about, right? But I think over these last few years, especially with the advent of technology and like the population getting more and more comfortable with so many social media platforms, I think we have come to observe and define certain categories of relationships, which I think people don't often think about unless and until they really sit and analyze it. So I would like to kind of name a few of them so that people can also think about it in the context of their own relationship and see where they kind of fit or fall into this. So one of the most common ones is independent relationship where both partners are highly independent and less dependent on each other for emotional, mental, and or financial support as well. So these kind of relationships are good, they're healthy, they're very encouraging, supportive, but there has to be a certain, common ground or common things where both the partners can actually contribute and stay connected. So that's one category of it. So yeah, the other kind of relationship is the opposite of independent relationship, and it's called codependent. Codependent relationship is one where you and your partner, you cannot seem to function without each other, and where independence is a quality that we must all possess and also encourage our partners to implement and practice. But if it gets to a point where you are not able to stay away from your partner for a longer period of time, then it can cause, problems in other areas of your life, like your social circle and the interactions, dynamics you share with your friends and family. So basically, you're completely dependent on your partner to fulfill all of your emotional, mental, social, physical, all of those needs. So it can get a bit intense. The third kind of relationship, I think, is more common, especially in most collectivistic cultures, I believe, and it's called the dominant submissive relationship, where one person controls their partner and they can have control over, again, their finances, more tangible aspects of their life, as well as their emotional needs and how they must behave with others, how they dress up, how they're speaking to other people. So, and of course, we know that controlling to that extent is never a good thing in any relationship. So in this scenario, there is an evident lack of independence from at least one partner. Understanding and trust is also kind of a bit shaky because the dominant person kind of takes over all aspects of the submissive partner's life. And we all know that understanding, trust, respect, these are required and necessary elements to form a healthy relationship.
Right.
So yeah, that's one kind. The other one is an open relationship. I believe it has kind of become a more popular term now. More people are aware of it. I'm not sure how many people openly accept that they are in an open relationship, but it's basically a situation in which you and your partner, you're both allowed to see other people while you're also seeing each other. So if you and your partner are in this kind of a relationship, chances are that, one or both of you are not ready to be emotionally involved in that particular relationship. So that's one, and I think the most trickiest one of all, I would say. The other one is it's the toxic relationship, of course, where probably, you and your partner, you're attracted to each other, you love each other immensely, but there is a greater lack of compromise or understanding. So you know that, okay, I love you, I cannot stay without you. So I think it also ties into the codependency thing as well, that you become so dependent on the other partner that you fail to kind of step out of that toxic relationship. And there may be like, greater difference of opinions and interests, which lead to, more arguments and problems, but you're still attracted to the partner. So it's really difficult to step out and get out of these kind of relationships. Another one, which I think a lot of people have this kind of a relationship, but they don't know that this is what it is. It's called the best friends relationship, where basically you and your partner, you're comfortable talking to each other, you connect emotionally, and everything is great, but there is a lack of intimacy. And sex is usually considered an important part of every relationship. But in the best friend scenario, maybe that is an area which is not as fulfilling, maybe, or the partners are struggling with their sexual lives in some aspect. So everything else is great, but this aspect may create issues in the relationship. And I mean, lastly, we definitely know that's the truly compatible relationship, which is an ideal one, I would say. So, this is the perfect picture of a healthy relationship based on understanding, trust, and love. And it consists of, two people who are ready to make sacrifices for each other, as well as love and respect each other to an extent where they understand their differences and treat it as an opportunity to grow and learn. So, and this is the kind of relationship we are all looking for. Luckily, many people have it. But I think sometimes it's just being in that particular relationship is not always easy, because you have to make sure you maintain it and you're able to sustain it for a longer period of time. So yeah, these are some of the broader categories, I would say, that exist. And it's sometimes good to be aware about them and see where you stand, and if you're able to relate with any of these relationships. So maybe it's time to pause, reflect, and assess that, okay, do we need to change something here? So yeah, those are the different kinds that exist.